Good morning and welcome to the Tuesday Morning Show where ASI's most outspoken editors talk promo products. I'm Andy Cohen, editor of Counselor Magazine, and we have a great show planned for you here today. Kathy Houston, how are you?
I'm good, Andy.
Yeah?
Yeah, not as good as you, though, with your new little pee-pee puppy.
I do have a new little puppy at home, and she's not quite trained yet, so, you know.
She's a baby.
She's having fun around the house in many ways, especially at 5:30 this morning. Michelle Bell, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How are your cats? Let's just talk about our pets here on the show today.
Mousy has a little bit of a runny eye, so she may have to go to the vet on Thursday.
Oh, sorry,
it's
wait,
like
what?
tearing. It's tearing. And it won't, you know.
Does she have allergies of some kind?
No, I think she's got a hair in there.
How do you get it into a crate?
Oh, it's hard.
It's hard to, corral
Is it
her.
hard because it's like to push her through that little opening into the...
For anybody who doesn't know, Michelle's cats are, relatively
large
large.
side.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, my God. She showed me a picture yesterday.
did you just, oh my God?
I did. Oh, my God.
He pointed to it and goes,
OMG.
what's that part? I said, it's her belly.
That part, it was
who
her
else's?
whole body.
Oh, my word.
Wow. Very good. Joe Haley, how are you today?
I'm terrific. Pet-free. I don't have to
You're
clean up after
pet-free.
anything. Nothing.
Very
I have to
good.
clean up after myself. That's about it.
Wow. That conjures up many images that probably none of us really wanted. So thanks for that.
Well, I don't get excited like your dog and have accidents in the
No,
house.
my dog, she gets really, really excited and things happen. So that's okay.
What's the dog's name?
Her name is Clara.
Did you name her, or was
No,
that her name?
the shelter, that was her name at the shelter. And we
You're
kept
not-
her.
You kept it, Clara?
We kept it as Clara, yeah. We kind of liked it and said, yeah,
Clarabelle?
she's Clara. Yeah, I call her Clarabelle. Yeah.
Clarico? And
I
that's
call her
cute.
lots of other things. No,
Oh!
the
That's
one thing
Lauren's
I will
dog.
say, she's incredibly calm for the most part, especially at night, and she never barks.
It's your perfect
Although
dog,
my
Andy.
wife and son said they heard one bark yesterday. I have yet to hear her bark, so that's a good thing.
Lauren has a dog. She got a pit bull.
Lauren, who's
Ooh.
running our tech board,
it's
you
gonna-
have a pit bull? What's her name?
Bailey.
Gonna tear her face off one of these days.
No.
Yeah, pit bulls.
My dog is deathly afraid of everything right now.
Aw.
Like when a car drives by, she shudders. So I think my dog and Bailey might not get along so well. Anyway, we are getting ready to take your calls on how to be a better networker. So if you have any questions about how to ramp up your networking for the remainder of this year or into 2015, give us a ring at 215-953-4979. All right, Joe, what else is on tap for today's show?
Andy, we have warning signs. You may be dealing with an SEO scam artist. Shark Tank star reveals the 5 worst sales sins. The powerful reach of one happy customer. We're also going to look at smart ways to build customer loyalty in a digital age. We have things smart people say that make them sound dumb. We have 5 powerful notes that will change your life. We have our favorite things. But let's start off with the industry news in 60 seconds. Andy.
All right. Thank you, Joe. We begin this morning with supplier acquisition news. Polyconcept North America announced on Friday that it has acquired Humphrey Line. Humphrey Line will continue to fulfill orders through the end of this year, but PCNA's Bullet unit will take it over beginning in 2015. The company's products will continue to be produced in Humphrey Line's Kentucky facility. Product safety news now. California-based supplier Tektron International, in conjunction with the CPSC, has recalled about 55,000 USB charging cables due to a fire hazard. The cables, which were manufactured in China, were sold as part of school fundraisers between July and August of this year. See Promogram today for more details. Some good news now for the ad specialty market. ASI research shows that distributors increased their sales by 4.6% in the third quarter of 2014. It was the 19th consecutive quarter of growth. The Counselor Confidence Index also showed near record highs for distributor outlooks. Distributor acquisition news now. Proforma Graphic Services has announced the acquisition of Columbus-based distributor Premier Graphic Solutions. The company said the combined organization is on track to have multi-million-dollar growth in 2015. And finally, make sure to check out the latest episode of The Joe Show in Promogram today. Joe, what is hot for today?
We have a wallet full of chocolate.
A wallet full of chocolate.
Whereas
I'm not sure you
or
should
as-
carry chocolate in your
Whereas
wallet.
Kathy would say, a wallet full of chocolate.
That's right.
How does Kathy say chocolate?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Sounds pretty normal.
Coffee.
Yeah.
It's better than how you say the word golf.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Or crayon.
Or water.
Ooh, yeah, water's a struggle for you too.
Water.
Yeah,
It's
see?
water?
Case in point.
Crayon?
Water.
Leighton, our friend Leighton, by the way, is going to be talking about tech safety when it comes to products.
Well, let's do it because that is a big issue today. Leighton Lee from ETS Express. Leighton, how are you today?
Oh, doing well. I just have enjoyed the banter about dogs and cats and all these little great things. And
Yeah, it's been an interesting start to the show as every day of my last few days has been an interesting start.
Leighton has dogs. You
Yeah.
have dogs, don't you, Leighton?
Oh, yeah, they're all sitting here surrounding me, waiting for me to get off this call so I can give them a cookie.
Well, let's not hold you too much longer. Leighton tech products are very much in the news, as I just said in our news segment. We even had a recall in the industry last week. So what can you tell us for your product safety minute for this week?
You know, we do know that tech products are the hot category, or one of the hottest categories for this season. And it is also the highest risk category that I can think of right now because of the potential for just poor manufacturing, poor component selection, meaning because these things are so hot, and there's so much competition in Asia that they're price sensitive right now, and they probably will increase to be even more price sensitive as competition heats up. So there's a lot of corner cutting here by factories. And what's the best thing that we can do? We've all heard this for a couple of years now, that we need to do our homework with our vendors, our suppliers, and factories to make sure that they have the testing done and that they have the certifications for the factories that do tech products. There are a number of industry-accepted certifications, UL being the number one, CSA, ETL is another one, that would certify the factories as well as the components. So what are the risks? Injury, fire, burns, and death, and property damage. So we're not
Those are a lot of risks.
Yeah, there are a lot of risks, and we're not talking about a tote bag here. We're talking about something that can hurt people. So we have to be very careful. I'm not saying that they're unsafe. We just need to do our homework and make sure that that we're buying the right product from the right supplier. So I hate to keep barking at you folks about.
Nice.
But,
Well, thanks for the call, Leighton, and go give those dogs a cookie.
I sure will. Have a great day, folks.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks.
Leighton.
All right, we're going to head to the phones now to have our call-in topic of the day, which is how to be a better networker. So our hosts are here to offer tips. If you have any questions on how to ramp up your networking efforts, give us a ring at 215-953-4979. We have a few callers on the line already. Let's start with Rob on line one. Rob, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So what is your networking question for our hosts?
I don't do too well, interacting with large groups of people, and I really don't like, going alone to a party or an event and trying to network. So how can I get past that?
We are going to turn to our networking queen, Michelle Bell, for answers to that question. Michelle, what do you think?
You guys are all fairly good networkers. Everybody can chime in.
No. You got the floor here.
I would say it sounds like Rob is overwhelmed walking into a room full of people, and that he should think of it in a more manageable way, and just
Or think of them in their underwear?
No.
Oh.
You're creepy.
I always,
You're creepy.
that's always the thing that people say for when you're doing a presentation.
Right, when you're
to
public
lighten
speaking.
up the mood.
I would say just to concentrate not on the large group of people, but just one or two. Just, go up to one or two people that you think look interesting or seem fun, and just ask them questions. People love to talk about themselves. You have to do.
Some people do.
Most people do. Actually, I've only met two people in the industry who are so averse to it that this would not work with them. Everyone else loves talking about themselves.
That's true.
So all you have to do is ask a couple questions and then just listen. And I would say the key to really doing great networking is just following up, and not expecting a sale immediately. Just be interested, make some initial overtures and then follow up with them with a quick email.
Right. And then when you ask them about themselves, they're going to in turn most likely ask you what you do, and then you can tell them a little bit about yourself. And also, I recommend having a glass of wine at these networking events. That
Even
always
if they don't
breaks the
offer
ice.
You know what I would say?
Have one pregame.
Yeah.
If you're going into a large group and there's like groups of people talking, I would look to that person who's by themselves. It might be easier to approach and get into a conversation with, one-on-one with someone
Right.
rather than trying to jump into a group setting.
All right, Rob, hopefully that helps, and good luck in your networking efforts for the rest of this year. All right, let's go to line 2 where we have Stanley. Stanley, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing very good. What is your question or
Good.
comment? How do you network, Stanley?
Well, it's funny. I like what Michelle said because, oh my God, I said Michelle without her last name. Michelle Bell. Okay, got that right. I like what Michelle Bell said because, when you go to people and you ask them about them and they're doing all the talking, I've always heard that people leave saying, oh my God, that guy was such a good conversationalist, and yet they were the ones doing all the talking
So
because
true.
people love to talk about themselves. But I find that what I've done with my clients and with my networking is I try to treat them all the same. And my prospecting, I try to see what I can do always to connect them with other people and bring business toward them. And then inevitably, it's not like they feel obligated, but they really want to give you business back. Mm-hmm. And I find that with that, what I've been doing lately is trying to follow up with people that I just met, sending them endless supplies of samples from vendors that are open to doing that and helping me, engage with the clients. And it just seems like that kind of connection seems to build the relationships. I think the false sense of security is when people are on Facebook and they think because they have 1,000 friends and they're always posting that that's built relationship. That may build awareness and people may know what you're doing, but I think there's nothing like feeding other people's business with referrals for them to get it coming back in your direction.
That's a great point.
Yeah, that is a very good point. All right, Stanley, thanks for the call, and we'll speak to you probably very soon. And we have Sydney on line 3. Sydney, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great. What is your question for the hosts?
Well, I was wondering, I'm actually okay networking with new people at networking events, but I'm actually terrible at the follow-up. So how can I really take advantage of the contacts I make at these different events?
I would first say you just absolutely need to make time for it. It has to be something that's built into your week to be following up. I would say as quickly as possible from an event. Saying nice to meet you, and something maybe specific about the conversation you had, so that there's a clear remembrance of who you were and who they were. But you have to build that in.
As soon as when I meet somebody new at an event, I walk away and I make a little note either on the back of their business card or in my phone, something, and then I reach out to them. Every week, I reach out to 5 people in my network and just say, hey, what's going on? Not that I need anything, not that they need anything from me. I just 5 a week is my goal. Mm-hmm. Just so I'm constantly, and it's 5 different people every week.
And it's not always following up from
No,
an
it's just
event
reaching
or
out to
something.
them. Yeah,
Right.
just keeping in contact.
Yeah, but Sydney, I would say it's really a matter of making it part of your schedule in a sense. You have to build it in. It's not really any extra effort. It's just the time that it takes. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it during the regular business day because you want to be doing other things like selling and fulfilling orders at those points, then make it a nighttime activity. Do it at a time when you can't really be doing other stuff. But I would make sure to build it in. All right, Sydney, thanks for the call. Now, Michelle, I understand we have some social media posts on this topic. What did people have to say?
We do. We have 2 comments and a question, so let's do the question first. Eric Campbell says, in all honesty, my biggest networking issue is that I don't have the time to get out to trade shows to put in real face time with people in the industry. That said, I really don't go out locally either. What do the hosts suggest as a gateway method to start local in-person networking?
Anybody?
I would,
Chamber of Commerce events.
Chamber of Commerce events, Rotary,
clubs,
Kiwanis, whatever those local business organizations are that have those regular monthly networking events, luncheons.
I would
also look at your local promotional products association, regional association there.
That's a great way to do it, the regional associations.
They have meetings each month, which usually consists of 1 hour, networking time in the beginning, so that's a great opportunity.
I would
was
also
new in the industry. I met so many people local from going to. I used to go to our local one in the suburbs of Philadelphia once a month. I used to go to every meeting, and I met so many people from that.
I would also suggest volunteering. Get with some charitable organizations in your area, and those can be great local networking opportunities. So, when they're doing events and you're volunteering at them or helping to set them up, or even better yet, providing promotional products for them, then you're there and you're meeting people, and those can be great local networking events.
And if you have kids who are involved in, some type of activity, whether it's sports or band or something, you're always going to be around other parents. It's an opportune time to sit there, talk about what you do, how you can help them and stuff. It can just be a very casual conversation, but you can network in those types of events if you're active in your church, or if you go to, a church afterwards, as mass is letting out, you can sit there and talk to the people. I mean, there's always an opportunity just to have a conversation with someone, a one-on-one. It can turn into something that's fruitful.
Sure. Michelle, what were the other comments?
I would say first, though, just as a caveat, people sometimes, they expect that networking is going to give them instant gratification as far as return business, and it doesn't. You have to put the time into that.
And it doesn't have to be an official networking event,
Absolutely.
either. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities.
Yep. Judy Brown says, this is a comment, she says, aside from common networking forums, chambers of commerce, she looks for industry-specific networking opportunities such as master builders, wedding professionals group, nonprofit associations, groups promoting go local movements, and she says in her area there's also a transportation networking group that invites businesses to join. So I think the point there is to look at, there may be specific associations in your area that could be kind of cool, that speak to your interests.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And David Garthwaite says, being a member of 4 different networking groups, he's noticed major hurdles. Number 1, you have to attend consistently without the expectation of doing business. The more referrals you give will result in future referrals back to you. Never try to make a sale unless you are asked to, and boy, isn't that important. Most attendees go to networking functions are anticipating to close the deal. Since this won't happen immediately, they lose interest and think that networking doesn't work. So you really need to put the time into it. And he says that some of his largest orders came after a year of attending meetings. So that's how much time you put into it. But when it pays off, it really pays off.
Right. All right, so we have to do a quick vote to vote for our prize pack winner for the week. Who do we think it is?
I like Judy Brown's.
Judy Brown's. Which one was she?
She was the one who gave the suggestions about joining groups like Master Builders.
Those were good. Joe, do you concur?
I concur, Andy.
Judy Brown, you're the winner of the ASI prize pack for the week.
Actually, I didn't vote for Judy, but I guess I get outvoted.
It doesn't matter. There were 3 votes. You're only 1 vote unless you get an extra vote.
This is democracy.
Democracy in action on voting day.
On election day, we did the Democratic.
I would have voted for
Michelle,
Stanley.
who do you vote?
I would have voted for Stanley. But
Stanley, you got Michelle's vote, or as you say, Michelle
Bell.
All right, let's head to take a break right now to hear from our show sponsor, ASI Education. But when we get back, we'll hear from Kathy about a Shark Tank star who reveals the 5 worst sales sins anybody can make.
At ASI, we know that education is the key to success, so we're excited to announce our newly reimagined online learning center. Log in and test the all-new intuitive interface. Share photos, stories, and communicate with other ASI members who are learning along with you. Expand your knowledge with wikis, discussion boards, and more than 350 courses, which include valuable marketing and sales information. And for your convenience, the Online Learning Center now uses a single sign-on access like your other ASI services. Best of all, it's free. Become an industry expert and see what's new on the ASI Online Learning Center at www.asicentral.com/online-learning.
All right, welcome back to the Tuesday morning show where we've been discussing networking and how to become a better networker. If you have any questions about that or comments that you just want to add to the show, you can give us a ring at 215-953-4979. Before we get to Kathy's topic, I wanted to talk about SEO, as Joe teased in the beginning. There's a lot of companies out there who are promising SEO, search engine optimization increases, and some are seeing them as scam artists. So we found this article that we'll post online to our website that has some warning signs. So let me share a couple of these with you. First, to be wary of any prepackaged or sort of bundled SEO solutions. SEO is something that's very specific to every organization and every market. There's not really shouldn't be such a thing as any prepackaged type of thing. And we are actually here working with an SEO consultant, and there's certainly nothing prepackaged about it. I can tell you that much. The next thing is to avoid anybody who's promising guaranteed first page rankings. It's not something that they can just guarantee. There's a lot of work that goes into that, making sure that you have the right keywords on your website and that you have the right content that can show up high on Google and other search engines. So anybody promising that is probably somebody you don't want to work with. And lastly is claims of insider knowledge, like they know the best way to get to the top of a Google search page. That's not really the case. They might have strategies, but there's not quote unquote insider knowledge and inside ways to do it. Ask for case studies. Ask them to show you how they helped other organizations get higher search engine rankings, and then you can make a decision there.
I swear to God, I think I gave myself an aneurysm from rolling my eyes during that segment.
Yeah,
because I just think that there are our generation charlatans and snake oil salesmen.
Well, I think you could probably say that about any consultant. They're consultants, and what they do is consult in something with technology that most people don't necessarily know about. So you could say that about probably most consultants, and some people feel that way about all consultants. I don't necessarily, but Michelle Bell obviously does.
I packed my air quotes in my bag this morning because I knew this segment was coming. Consultants.
I packed my air quotes in my bag this morning. That's an interesting way.
Smile.
A very interesting way to put it. All right, Kathy. So we have some sales sins that a Shark Tank star says people make. What are they, and who's the star?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing this guy's name right. Robert Herjavec?
Has he ever spoken to us?
Herjavec. No, he has not.
Okay.
He's cute. I like him.
Not.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude. And he says...
With a weird last name.
He's a good-looking
What?
dude.
Well, you couldn't say his last name.
Oh, okay, whatever.
With a difficult-to-pronounce last name. Go.
Don't be jealous, Joe. Anyway, the first sales
Jealous,
sin
Joe.
is not tailoring your sales pitch to your audience, which seems obvious to me. If you're selling to a CEO, you're going to have a different message than if you're selling to an HR director. So to optimize your chances of sealing a deal, you have to research your customers' I can't say specific either, needs that personalize your pitch accordingly. Selling to someone who isn't a decision maker, you should really qualify the person in advance of the appointment.
I think people waste a lot of time with those who can't ultimately make buying decisions.
Yeah.
You have to be careful of that and do your research and make sure you're talking to the right person.
Absolutely. And this we write about all the time in Advantages Magazine, talking more than listening. All right. Pipe down, open your ears, and keep your eyes on your goal.
Pipe down, you.
Shut up.
That's right. Not dressing the part.
Ugh.
So Robert says if you don't dress for success, you're not going to get that success. You're not going to make the sale.
Joe packed his sarcasm this morning.
Joe, you have something to add to that?
Well, yeah.
Since you audibly sighed.
You know, I know that we've become, in the business world, a lot more casual than 10,
Loosey
15,
goosey.
20 years ago.
Everybody buckle up because it's coming.
Loosey-goosey.
No, I'm just saying that it's like,
Here's a Joe rant.
the way that you represent yourself starts off with the way that you dress. You know, and while there's nothing wrong with sneakers and T-shirt and, and jeans and maybe a hoodie when you're in the office, but if you've got to go, meet someone, you need to clean it up. Now, I'm sure that there's people, or maybe there are people who are, making sales calls like that. But think about, the image you are presenting when you go to speak to someone. I mean, would you walk into your doctor's office if he was wearing sandals with no socks, cargo shorts, and a T-shirt?
Yeah.
And a hat on backwards?
Yeah.
I think he was cool.
No, I probably wouldn't, but that's a doctor. I mostly would agree with you.
Right.
And,
I'm not saying they got to
I agree with the sentiment. However, I think there is an overdress. There could be you can give off the wrong image if you overdress to the wrong client.
Sure.
You have to know what the client's dress code is too, which you don't have to necessarily match. If they're a shorts and T-shirt office and that's what you're walking into, then you can dress down a little bit. I wouldn't suggest wearing exactly what they are wearing, but if you come in a suit to that type of office, then they're going to be put off by it.
Right.
So you do have to match it a little bit.
At some places, maybe you need to take the tie off,
Right.
A jacket, and a shirt, you don't need the tie. I'll say just don't be a slob.
Okay, don't be a slob, says Joe Haley.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Kathy,
okay.
what else you have?
Yeah, well,
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
all right,
that's all I feel like talking about.
We'll post all of that. There it is. Kathy's very honest. We don't criticize her for holding back. All right, we will post those tips to our website at asicentral.com/radio. Okay, Joe, I'm seeing the powerful reach of one happy customer. What can you tell us?
Doesn't it sound like a tagline for like a superhero in a comic book?
Sure.
Okay, good. Thank you. Oh, wow, there's crickets in here. Well, let me just say this. It says that an influential customer is one who promotes your company through their own network of friends and contacts. The more a customer becomes a brand advocate, the more influence and social value they have, ultimately resulting in higher sales. Okay? And they say that your happy customer has the ability to influence 42 other people.
That's very important these days.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
Brand advocates. We talked about it last week. Who's the guy, the Stark Raven fans?
I don't remember.
I don't remember
I
either.
forget. Anyway, 42 people. It can increase your sales anywhere from 20 to 50% by having those advocates for you. So who are the most influential customers? Anyone?
The
Male
ones
or
that
female?
are happy. Oh.
I know,
Gender,
but
gender-wise.
I would guess female.
No, I guess the same thing. Actually, according to this study, it's 50% is male, 44% female. So it's almost.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
What's the other 6%?
That equaled 94.
Puppies?
56 and 44 equals
Oh,
100.
I thought you said 50 and 44. Okay.
56 and 44.
Okay. Kathy was with me because
Yeah,
you
you
said the
said
other
50.
6%.
Which age group?
Which age group? I'm going to guess the 18 to 34 demo.
Kathy?
Yeah.
18 to 34, 51%, the most influential. So
Huh?
more than half of your influential customers are young and male.
does it say why male over female?
It doesn't.
I'll be curious.
It
Do we
does
have
not.
any guesses as to why?
See, I would guess female because
I did
females
guess female.
traditionally are the decision makers for family buying.
Right.
True.
I would agree with
Yeah,
that too.
I think that study's wrong.
No, I mean, there could be something in how it's passed on. Maybe, see, I was guessing it for another reason. I was guessing it for that females are more social. than
That's
males.
true too.
So you would think that they would talk to their friends about the good stuff that they bought from XYZ company. But
Right.
hey,
All right.
who knows?
So how can you increase customer influence, Andy? You ask?
Many ways.
Mobile advertising
Providing
campaigns.
good service. Sorry.
That's not part of this list, but I'm sure that's good as well. Mobile advertising campaign. Once you've determined who your most influential customers are and who your social whales are, and they have the most influence.
Social whales.
Social whales. They have
Wow.
a big, huge social network, and they're stark raving fans.
Okay.
You need to target them with mobile-focused ads to get the greatest reach. 50% plus of content sharing comes from a mobile device, and what's the 90% of the people have smartphones nowadays.
Is that the number? I don't know.
It's 90% plus. Someplace in that range. Some people have their little Blackberries, little crank models, but that's okay. You also need to be visual. And the thing about this study, it was done as an infographic, so it makes sense. You've got your youngest demographic is your most influential. They really appeal to the visual advertising or the visual message that you want to send out. So that's why I think like the ad impression study is very good because it's very visual. It's laid out like an infographic. 6.5 times average engagement increases with content that includes images instead of just text alone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
don't
that
bore
makes
them with all the
sense.
copy. Show them nice pictures.
Yeah.
Say, look, here you go, Andy. Isn't that great?
Yeah,
Anyway,
we don't have a long
we
attention
will
spans.
post this entire study on www.asicentral.com/radio.
All right, thanks, Joe. We have just enough time for our favorite things. Kathy, why don't you lead us off?
All right. Well, mine is 12-ounce themed compartment cups from How, ASI 61952. You've seen them before. They're clear styrene, and they have a compartment in the bottom with like confetti and miniature pieces. And they're beach themed, casino, construction. You could choose from a wide variety of themes. So it'd be good for any industry.
Very cool. Michelle, what do you have?
Mine is from Gemline, ASI 56070, and it's from, they carry the Brookstone line now. They have such cool products. And this is this cool little speaker, and it's twisted like a bow tie almost, but it's very swanky.
In the form of a bow tie?
It kind of looks like that because think of like a metal speaker, but it's been twisted like this. But I thought
That's
it would be
pretty
a great
cool.
holiday gift.
Yeah.
I love those Bluetooth speakers,
Yeah.
by the way. I mean, those just are so cool. Joe,
Andy,
what do you have
I have from
as your favorite thing of the week?
A plus Wine Design. Vinny, can you get this or I need to move it? Okay, it's good. This is an etched bottle, and inside
Is that olive oil?
it is olive oil. I mean, people who
I
like
like
to
it.
cook, home chefs, home cooks, would love this. You can use it in your cooking. You can put it in a little dish and some spices in there, and dip your bread into it. I think it's a great holiday gift. It could be part of a basket. It could be given alone. It's got a nice message in there. When you're done with it, you can clean it out. Maybe put a rose in there, Andy. Thinking of your girl Clara. You can find this from A Plus Wine Design, ASI 30223.
Put a clean bed in there.
Find them online at A Plus. That's the word spelled out plus, not the plus sign. WineDesigns.com.
All right, thanks, Joe. You can check out all the products and more on our website at asicentral.com/radio.
I have an announcement before we
Oh,
go.
wait, breaking news. Michelle's, stop,
God.
stop the presses.
Wait a minute, I am sitting, so if you say you're getting married.
Lauren, don't play the end music just yet. Michelle's got an announcement.
Next week on the show, we will be announcing the winner of the Supplier Rep of the Year and the Customer Service Rep of the Year. So they will
Very
both
cool.
they will both be calling in for interviews on the show.
Very
Good.
cool. So make sure to listen next week when we have a big major announcements of the supplier, sales rep and customer service reps of the year.
Correct. They'll be calling in.
Very cool. All right, we look forward to that. Unfortunately, we are out of time unless Michelle has any other announcements. No? Okay, we're good.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, Kathy? No? Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks to our show sponsor, ASI Education.
Go
Have
vote.
a great week, everybody.
Go vote.